back to another Askari cast. My name is Rod Van Blake, author of the Ancient Illumination series as well as Yambani Chronicles. And we are joined once again by Andrea Rose Washington.
Hello.
She's the author of Elendil, Almond Tree's Magic. And am I missing something?
Adalithea.
Adalithea. There we go. That's the other one. There will be links to her stuff in the description of this episode when we put it up on Spotify for podcasters. And we're also joined by Jocelyn Short.
Hi.
She's a concept artist and illustrator, and she is the creator of a comic series called Bearers, which we are happily anticipating to come out. Today, we're going to talk some Star Wars Acolyte, new show on Disney Plus, which is a very different subject for us, at least for this group, because one of our members is a staunch Trekkie, so this is the first time they've suggested Star Wars, and I was super happy to be able to discuss it with her. Yes, Andrea, she's putting up the live long and prosper signs to everybody. So I'm going to go through my little spiel. They dropped 2 episodes at once, which I really think could have been combined into one just episode because of kind of the way the first one ended, which is why we're discussing both of them and not one at a time. This one opens on, I think, a planet called Ueda. We don't know her name yet, but we come to know her as May later, challenging a master Jedi sitting in a little gaming house. It's like a little casino slash
hangout lounge.
Yeah, little space ramen and gaming tables, and she's like, "Come at me, attack me with all your strength," which is square up. She, a little pose, and everybody at the place starts laughing at her till she starts beating the brakes off of the patrons there that were giggling. And Master Indara, aka Trinity from the Matrix, Carrie-Anne Moss, realizes, oh, snap, this person's the real deal. So I was getting real Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon vibes from this opening fight scene. There was some wire work, more kung fu, as you see Master Indara isn't quick to pull out her lightsaber. She said the Jedi don't attack people who are unarmed, and she says, yes, you do. And then they start fighting again. What do you guys think of this opening scene?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty gripping pretty quickly. I'm sad that we don't see Carrie-Anne Moss after this.
Yeah, that was real quick.
Yeah, I'm really sad about that because, we love her. We want to see her on screen all the time. So I'm bummed about that, but I really like the fighting. Like, I thought the fight sequences were really good, especially in this opening scene. I didn't expect it to go the way it did. I was very surprised. I was like, oh, I thought it was just going to be like, oh, they fight and then nothing, it's a stalemate and then she runs away. That's not what happened. So
I think we're going to get Carrie-Anne Moss back because we're going to have, I think we have to have some flashbacks. Obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Andrea? What do you think about this opening scene?
So I want to make a blanket statement for any episode that I talk about for this. I am still a Trekkie through and through, people. But it was a good opening fight scene. I enjoyed it, which is very shocking. Because if you know me, guys, you understand why that is a very shocking statement for me to say. But it was a very interesting fight scene. It really did feel like a Western vibe to it. Mm-hmm. With it was like a Matrix meets Western almost. And I loved, it seemed also very awkward for May, who we don't know is May at the time.
Yeah.
It came off, from my point of view, it came off that she was very much, had practiced what she was going to say and do so many times. And so it was like, oh, honey, we can tell you rehearsed this in the mirror. Like, you did the practice pose, you did the practice everything. And I feel like it was supposed to come across that way. Like, she wasn't supposed to be as like natural. It was very much giving, in the words of Jocelyn, very much given practiced routine. I know exactly how this is going to go.
Yeah. A lot of even more than just this opening scene, as I was watching like these first 2 episodes, like it felt a lot like Kill Bill in some aspects. Not like the styling of Kill Bill, but the premise a little bit.
It's very much giving Kill Bill because you have somebody that's seeking revenge on specific individuals. As we find out later that's why she's doing this. So yeah, Kill Bill is very much applicable to this, as well as the Western motif and the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's a lot of things mixed in here. I like the visuals of what we saw in this first episode. Everything looked nice. I think if you guys have seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens, that green arch that she walks through in the opening scene is the same structure I think we see on Jakku in The Force Awakens, but it's like orange. So they're reusing some pieces. And we didn't even go through this, but this is supposed to be when the Jedi are at the height of their power in the High Republic before the Empire comes about. But as we see here, this is kind of like the beginning of the end to me, because you're starting to see politics and other things kind of sneak into the bureaucracy of how the Jedi are taken down. In the next scene, we meet Osha, who's a mechanic. I guess she's a mechanic that basically doing the job of astromech droids. What R2-D2 would do in Star Wars is go out on the surface of the ship while they're out in space and perform repairs. And the Republic has mandated that that's the only one that's supposed to be doing that. But we see the Trade Federation is still doing what the hell they want to do, and they have actual organics out there. I guess it's what a mechanic is a mechanic that works on ships. And then we meet Yord, the Jedi Knight, aka Killmonger cut, because they give this cut to every black character nowadays with the dreads, the shaved sides, and the comb over to the side. He's very upstanding and by the book, and
he's very much I'm not like you. Like he's very much like I'm one of the good ones, and he annoys me so much in this first episode. I just wanted to slap him.
So him, I find it interesting that he's a knight, not necessarily a master, but he has a Padawan with him, which is kind of weird to me. I thought you had to at least achieve master status before you could have a Padawan underneath you. He just got a Padawan, and they're just coming to confirm the identity of Osha because they're not aware that may exist yet. And they come in. He kind of sneakily comes to talk to her at first, and then the Padawan waits a minute before she comes in, and you could tell Osha's like, "Well, what are you doing here? You know, you just come to talk to an old friend." And she goes to take Pip off her hip, and Yord goes right for the lightsaber. She knows right away, like, something's up. Like, you are jumpy, you ready to fight, and I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And what do you guys think about this scene?
He thoroughly annoyed me in this scene. Because it was giving, I'm using your word again, that he was almost trying to prove to himself and to like her that they are very different people. It's like the trope of 2 best friends going down the same path, and then one decides to find their own path, and it's like, well, this one wasn't good enough for you. Well, I'm now a knight, and I'm now all of this, and I'm better than you. And that's what Yord gave off of. It's like, I'm better than you. And it's like, well, she's happy and content. Like, she's chilling, joking with the guy who was like, let's just leave them out there and go. Like, who was like ready to risk her life. And she was just joking, like, hey, excuse you, you know I'm valuable. And so like she's like content. And it's almost like he's upset with her for being content. Besides the fact that he thinks she's a murderer, is like he wants to prove to her that he's better than her. And she's like, I love my job.
He's kind of like the high school dropout.
Yeah, who's doing great.
Yeah.
It's like, I dropped out because I wanted to be a tattoo artist, and high school wasn't going to do nothing for that. And now I'm being an amazing tattoo artist. I'm using that because I'm an excuse of a teacher who said that. So it's a real life story, people. I'm not making a random generalization. A teacher said this, but it's like they told the student to drop out. Like, hey, you want to go do something else? And the kid's thriving, amazing. And Yord was like, this wasn't good enough for you. I wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah.
He definitely feels like the goodest boy for sure. His haircut was very funny. His haircut, the styling, I was like, really, you guys, we could do better than this. We could give him something else.
We're allowed to have.
You could give you can give him a shape up. Honestly, would have communicated goodest boy. Even in the Star Wars universe, it would have communicated that. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's basically my feelings. It's just.
And I kind of skipped over the part we get to meet Master Soul teaching his class back on Coruscant when Master Vernestra, the green-skinned Jedi, comes in, basically tells him, yo, something jumped off. We think it's one of your old Padawans that then killed Master Nara, and we're gonna go find her now. And after Yord and the other Padawan basically confirm her identity, because the barkeep comes in and sees Osha and be like, yeah, she's the one that killed the Jedi and you ruined my bar. So we got witness ID. We're going to send you on this prison transport. And of course, we get a prison break immediately by the other criminals. That was an interesting sequence of events because we have a ship manned totally by droids. The pilots are droids that turn into seats when they shut down. You have a bunch of criminals, and even the guard is a droid that's on the ship. I don't know why they thought this was going to work.
It's so silly.
And no one's going to hack. Like, somebody's going to hack your system, and they did. They had some cybernetic dude with the visor on. He hacks the droids, and they use the escape pods and leave. And she notices the one dude who has the parasite in his mouth to keep him subdued. I mean, the dude told her it's a parasite that keeps violent criminals subdued. Like, why would you free that dude? I understand she was just like, look, we're all getting free. I'm going to free this other person. And
nope.
He immediately.
Ibrahim, hey! I know him from Emerald City Comic Con. He was my neighbor.
Welcome, Ibrahim. Thank you for checking us out. We're talking Acolyte right now, the first couple episodes. So yeah, then we get this prison break that happens,
which was so out of nowhere and just so random.
Yeah.
In the sense where you have a new person who you think is a Jedi killer. She's already coming off like, I'm not this person, and we're gonna and then you say almost in front of the guard, we're planning a prison break. You in? Escape. Just escape. You don't know this girl. She could have been a plant for all you know.
Yeah. The other thing is that we didn't really talk about, back to Yord, he was about to do the Jedi mind trick on the Neo-Mordians that were on the Trade Federation ship. So they have no qualms about doing the Jedi mind trick to just snatch information from your head. But the other one saw what was about to go down and just gave up Osha anyway. She told him the birthing area and deck.
That's really why he's mad. That's really why he was mad at that girl. Because, like I was saying, he wants to portray being the goodest boy, but he's really for doing Jedi mind trick stuff to people, But she's just like, well, I'm not really hiding.
Yeah.
Who I am, but you are. So you can get mad at me if you want to, but I'm out here.
But I mean, it's not just him. That's Master Soul does it when they catch up with the prisoners.
Yeah.
He's like, quiet your mind. Tell me what happened with the girl on the ship. He just Jedi mind tricks him right away, like willy nilly. Everybody can get this Jedi mind trick. We don't care.
Can we just sort of talk about with you going back to Yord before she's put on the prisoner transport ship? Yeah. Can we talk about facts and evidence and law and order? Isn't the Jedi supposed to be the fair people? She was literally on a ship at the time of the attack. Could not have done it.
Well, no. That's later. Later, and that I didn't understand. We'll get to
No.
that.
She tells him before she gets picked up. She's like, "I was here." She tells him that she was there on her ship when Yord comes to get her.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that's her alibi versus an eyewitness that says I saw her
trust
there.
eyewitness. People
Yeah.
don't know what they see. She had a knife to his kid. Don't
Yeah.
trust him. Don't trust him.
I mean, that's one
And he was
person's word
wrong.
against another. That's not hard evidence. And that's why he's like, I don't know what to believe. He's like, well, old boy says you were there, so I don't understand why they didn't just take her themselves and not leave her on the exactly like what you said. Like this person supposedly killed the Jedi Master. I'm not trusting them to the droid transport to take them back to Coruscant. We gonna have to take them down ourselves.
Right.
And so yeah, they have the little prison break. And the ship crashes on some other snow planet, Karlak. I don't know how Osha survived the crash because she like strapped herself in behind some canisters, and when she wakes up, Ibrahim says, "True, also very wild to start a murder mystery by showing us who the killer is in the first scene." That's true, but I think there's a lot more to what's going on. I like because of what we see in the second episode. Like, I want to know what's happening, and we need. This kind of breaks a cardinal rule with storytelling. We're supposed to show and not tell, and in this, we're doing a lot of telling.
I thought the way that they were showing it though in this first episode, I thought was very interesting because what I thought was going on was that there were two personalities living inside one body, and I thought the darker version or the one with the most angst was coming out and being a murderess, to these Jedi, and then the other version of her was coming to and is like, is like, oh, she did this,
Like
not
a third
me.
personality.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That would be cool if they pull that off. If we end up, but we've seen them now both at the same time. But Sol, Yord, and Jek find her. Obviously, she sees a ghost of May or something, a younger version of May that she sees.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought it was split personalities. Because like when we first see them, the two of them in that scene, they're kids, and so I was like, oh, but no.
Ibrahim said they should have let Jocelyn write it.
Oh.
But
she sees a ghost of her sister, and I picked up on it that you don't see her footprints in the snow when she runs off. There are no footprints. She just storms off, and then she, in her mind, goes to chase her. But I think she's still dreaming at that point because we get her waking up a second time in the ship, and she picks up Pip. I don't know why they don't feel each other's presence.
They're both twins who have the Force.
Not them, but I'm saying the Jedi in general, when they land on Karlak, Sol realizes that she's gone a certain direction, but the other two do not, because Yord is like, no one could have survived this, and the other one, well, obviously somebody's been here, and he's like, yeah, scavengers, and then Sol immediately feels her, and then they give chase and find her eventually, as she's still seeing this ghost of her younger self. And then we actually see both of the twins' younger selves come together and speaking to each other, because she admits that she's the one that killed Inara, but we don't know if that's real or not. And yeah, during the trip on their way back, I don't think we get to that part. That's in the next episode. Twins when they're talking about her on the ship, Yord doesn't realize that she has a twin, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of an important factor. That there's possibility of two of these beings running around.
So
you didn't mention that.
You're asking why don't they sense like both May and her twin?
No, I'm asking why in this scene where you see the Jedi go down on Karlak that they can't sense other Force beings, and when we see it again with May when she goes to the other Jedi temple, why can't they feel each other?
Is that, and forgive me if this is just my lack of knowledge, maybe that is that like a sensitivity that you pick up like later on in your Jedi journey? Like, do you have to get stronger to do that?
Possible, but there you see in like if you've watched the old movies, when Obi-Wan gets on the Death Star, he feels Darth Vader's presence, and Darth Vader feels his presence on a moon-sized base.
You know what though?
But it also could be because they trained together. They had that connection. Like she was his Padawan.
Yeah.
So like they have a more deeper, more intimate in a very healthy sense of that word. They have a more intimate relationship.
Yeah.
In a very platonic manner.
Yeah.
So that's why. And Obi-Wan, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I only watched the Star Wars movies and I was forced to. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, he was Obi-Wan's Padawan at one point, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like they have a deeper connection of like parent, child, teacher, student type of connection, which is why I thought and then he never truly also believed that she was the one who did it, and like still had like this love and care for her. We see it on his face, like, nah, she didn't do this.
Yeah.
He's the only real one. I respect him.
Yeah.
I also wonder because during that prison breakout scene, Osha, after everybody leaves her and she's stuck in that cell trying to get herself out, we see her trying to like use the
force, yeah,
to her, but she's kind of strong. She's having a hard time doing it. Yeah. But May seems like a stronger force user, so maybe there's some discrepancies there about why people can't necessarily feel them when they show up.
I'm thinking there's a mental block for Osha for some reason right now.
Yeah, and I do want to, before we go on to episode 2, I do want to comment. The first master who was killed, because I can't think of her name, starts with the I.
Andrea.
She knew that was not Osha. So, because when she's holding her, she's like, "What are you doing?" And then when May's hair falls back and she sees the burn, her recognition of her changes. And even when, I don't know if that was episode 2 or not, but
that's first episode.
Like, no, but like when Soul was like, her twin is dead, he paused.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they know the twin is alive, and she knew that wasn't Osha. So there's something else going on.
There is.
I also feel like Soul lied when he was like, "May is dead. I watched her die." I feel like he was lying to them when he said that.
Well, no, because they both said because Osha also says we saw her when talking to Soul.
Maybe Osha said that, but I think Soul was lying when he said that to them.
I'm just saying, but she says it to him when they're talking in the ship, because this episode closes on
her almost falling off the thing, right?
Yeah, the first episode closes on this Sith, the guy in the mask, and he lights the red lightsaber at the end.
Oh, that one.
Because he's talking about the Jedi live in a dream, and we basically must destroy that dream, and you have to kill without a weapon. And that's harking back, I think, to in some of the comics, Vader, even after he's become a full-on Sith, he's ordered to kill a Jedi without a weapon, and he takes the Kyber crystal from the Jedi's lightsaber and he bleeds it to make it red. So this is part of, I think, their initiation. And I was wishing, because it's titled Acolyte, that we got more of a Acolyte and Sith perspective, because we always see the Jedi. I wanted to see the Acolytes and the Sith, but they're holding that. And I don't know what the heck's going on, but they done did something dirty, I believe. And we see that, I believe, in episode 2. As we see, now we're moving on to episode 2. Is there anything else you want to say about episode 1 before we move on?
Yes, to Jocelyn's point. So, and this may be totally wrong because I don't know the lore. I'm so sorry. But when Osha says that we saw May die or whatever, can the Jedis, when they do the whole little clear your mind thing, can they change your thoughts? Can they make you think you saw what you think you saw? So like if they, like, for example, if May was going to die and they couldn't save them both, they could only save one. So they saved the one they thought was the nice one that didn't have darkness around her heart or whatever. And they saved Osha. They made her think that her sister was dead.
Possibly. I mean, there is force illusion in in the lore, but I don't know if that's canon anymore because that was a book called I Jedi by Kevin J. Anderson, where Corran Horn had he couldn't do telekinesis, he couldn't move stuff, but his power was he could give you an illusion that made you think he lifted something with the force, but he'd have to trick everybody that was watching him. So it's possible. I don't know if that's the direction that they're going, that they just made Osha think that May was dead, but then we learned later that May also thought that Osha was dead in the second episode. We see also at the beginning of the second episode that there's not just one Jedi temple because May is sneaking into another Jedi temple on another planet. She goes to find Master Torben and tries to do the same thing, gets in her little fighting stance, attack me with all your strength, and my boy is just meditating, he's floating. He's in this 10-year force meditation with a full-on force field around him, which was hilarious, as May is trying to get into his defenses and cannot. Again, though, I'm like, why can't they feel the presence of another strong force user at the temple and nobody just seems to know nothing? And it's at this point where they're on the ship where communications comes back from Master Vernestra after she initially goes, why are you cracking up? It's to make me think he's Ibrahim says Torben's force powers to make people think he has a real beard. That's hilarious. I was more noticing the weird scarring on his face.
Yeah.
Like he must have did something.
There was a lot going on.
And this looked almost fresh.
There was a lot going on makeup wise for him. I just it was the hairline was doing crazy stuff. Yeah. The scar and contact. I was like,
he had the Stephen A. Smith hairline up here, and he had the weird beard and the scarring going on.
Very crazy. I was just like, I felt, man, that dude, he looked like a white nerd, but just with some wigs on, like just like a regular old nerd, with just some stuff on. Yeah. He's floating, so he looks cool. But I'm like, this is a man in cosplay. This is not no Jedi, okay?
And at this point, the first incident that happens at this other temple, Vernestra tells Soul that she's been seen again, and she very well can't be in your custody and doing another crime at this other scene, but he doesn't tell Yord. Like, my boy is still like, Master, I don't agree with, us trusting her. He could have told him right then, like, look, there's been another incident, and you've seen her in our possession the whole time, so get off it, bro. Just, she's not the killer. Because someone else is trying to do some stuff right now, and she's been spotted at another Jedi temple on another planet, but it's not her. She's on.
Listen, he said, listen, I'm a space paladin. I got my shirt off. All right.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
My lean muscles, and you need to know about what I'm talking about. And what I'm saying is that she's a criminal. She needs to go to jail.
Yeah, my boy with his steam
they had an eyewitness at the last one too, at the new one, like they did the last one. In yours and mine, you have an eyewitness. Logic and fact goes out of the window.
Yeah,
doesn't matter that the space-time continuum says that she couldn't be in two places at once. We have an eyewitness.
Yeah. And so then after that, the first attack didn't work. So May goes to a space bodega to get a weapon, and we meet Kamira. It's an apothecary. I know it's what it actually is, but I'm like, you got a little space bodega on this planet where she's gonna get some poison to offer Torben. But she's got this thing where she needs to kill one of them without a weapon to become an acolyte. So boy gives her the poison, Kamir, and offers absolution. I'm like, for what? Like, what did these four Jedi do? They had to be so dirty that she wants to kill all four of them.
They are responsible for the death of the family. It may not be on purpose. It may have been a complete and utter accident. Yeah. But I am saying it today. I could be wrong, but I'm saying
they caused the fire.
They caused the fire by accident. They didn't mean to, but they caused the accident that killed the family. I think they did that. I don't think they did it intentionally, but I think there are the reasons behind it.
I hope that the reason that they show, because I do think I believe they're behind it. I hope that the reason that they show whenever we get to it as to why they did it, I really hope it's compelling. I honestly, I hope it's not an accident. I hope it was on purpose.
Yeah.
I want there to be angst. Okay.
Okay. Well, okay, hold on. Clarifying, quick thing. So when I'm saying on accident, I mean like they were fighting someone else and then they caused the fire by accident.
So I know.
Like you want them to intentionally have done it,
because like I just feel like stories will do this sometimes where it was an accident. It truly was an accident, but the person just chooses not to see it that way, even though like a thing actually was an accident. And I feel like sometimes it's a little lazy, just a little bit. So I feel like I would like to see a more compelling reason as to why she wants to murder these Jedi for what happened.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear, so I knew who would be right or wrong.
Yeah. Soul is obviously moved by guilt for not being able to save them both. They get to this other planet where the other Jedi temple is, and as they're walking up to the spot, May sneaks in again through the skylight.
They didn't close it. They didn't lock it.
Soul, Yord and crew arrive.
Everyone's bad at security in this world. They got droids watching prison ships. They're not closing windows.
Yeah, the security is horrible right now.
They doing bad.
That's why the Empire took over. Come on now.
Okay.
And, boy is like the Jedi that's at the temple is like Torben ain't talked to nobody in 10 years, and Soul's like he'll talk to me. I'm an old friend. Meanwhile, Master Torben then woke up, sees May, takes the damn poison, asks for forgiveness, and says, "I thought we were doing the right thing." So yeah, that lets me know something dirty done went down, and Torben was guilty, and that's why he went into this forced meditation, aka hibernation, the whole time. Why are you looking like that, Andrea?
Brain blast. What if they were trying to run a test on nurture versus nature with twins?
Oh, that would
both have like a similar upbringing, and then like one goes for good, one goes for evil. Which one? What? Like I could be 100% wrong, but I feel like if he said, because you're right, he did say we thought we were doing the right thing. That maybe, just maybe, they were trying to prove how the Jedi side would always win or something.
Yeah. Osha finds the vial of poison just as they walk into the room from the other side, and of course, luckily, Yor didn't trust her and followed her as she broke off because he exonerates her immediately. Like she didn't have nothing to do with it. I had my honors on her the whole time.
So annoyed doing it. Yeah. He seemed so annoyed that the girl that was his friend at one point was innocent. Sir, are you serious? I had to pause because I screamed at my iPad. I was like, are you upset that your friend is innocent?
He said, she's not my friend anymore.
Yeah. She's supposed to be guilty so I could prove to them that was loyal to the Jedi, not old friends. Yeah. I swear to God, he wanted her to be guilty so he can use it for his benefit.
So then she picks up the vial, sniffs it, and knows exactly what it is. This is Bunta. It's poison from our home planet. So now I'm thinking, what's the connection between May and Kamir? I'm wondering when they met each other, because if he has the poison specifically from their home planet, that to me was weird. You like Kamir?
He's so cute. Oh my God, that boy is so cute. You're evil, so the answer is no, but I can look.
So they go back to the space bodega and try and set a trap. That was a funny scene too, when Yord comes up with a plan of how they're going to go into the apothecary, but Jackie, aka X-23, I didn't know if you Daphne Keane, I believe, is the actress's name, who played X-23 in the movie Logan. She's the one done on the white makeup with the red streaks on her.
I love her. Okay.
Yeah, she comes up with the whole plan. It's like, you could do all this crazy stuff you talking about, or we can just send her in to go talk to him, because she looks obviously just like her twin sister, and we can get some information and record what they say. They set the trap for May. We have a cool fight between May and Soul, She keeps reaching for their lightsabers too each time. I don't know if you notice that. Go ahead.
Can I just say that when you are imitating a bad person, stop using polite vernacular. If you are imitating someone who is not a polite person, stop being like, "Hi, I wanted to see you again."
Oh yeah, that was a tell. He's like, she don't talk like
honey,
this.
I know you haven't seen your sister, but she has murdered people. So
Yeah.
obviously, she's not going to say please and thank you. She's going to be like, it's done.
She's
Yeah.
doing her best, okay? She don't know
What's the next step?
She didn't know how she talked to these people. She's just like, let me just show up. Hey, okay, let me just show up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't have to say anything.
Hopefully,
I can just get away with just looking at him, and that didn't work. So she had to just start saying something, and it was wrong. And he was like,
The fight scene was cool though. The fight scene was cool. George up there with his little macro binoculars recording everything and giving a play-by-play. He's giving color commentary as they're fighting. And Soul obviously outclasses her, even to the point where he like takes all of her daggers off of her without her noticing and throws them on the ground. Tries to do the Jedi mind thing on her, but obviously because he notices that your master has hidden his identity even from you, so you don't even know it. She's like, "Get out of my head." They keep fighting. She pulls a Assassin's Creed or Batman and force pushes all the dirt around her to give her a little minute that she can escape in the dust cloud. It was pretty funny. And then Osha kind of, I think she misses on purpose. She shoots the stun blast, but she misses on purpose twice. Because you see her hand kind of veer to the left because she had her dead to rights before she even looks up. She's staring down the barrel of the stun weapon, and she misses on purpose. She takes off. May doesn't know who her master is, and I know each sister thought the other was dead. And then but Kamir later on, after she escapes because she thinks that he turned her in, they have a little mini confrontation. It looks like Kamir might have some hands because she was trying to stab him up and he stops her cold and then holds her up against the wall, and then they talk it over and he lets her know that he's found another target, Kelnaka, one of the Wookiee Jedi. So we now know that there were 4 Jedi involved with whatever happened with Osha and May on their home planet because they were all stationed there at the same time. Something dirty went down and May is out for blood trying to kill all 4 of them. Saul knows, and then we have this weirdness with this Master Vernestra wanting to call a meeting, and he's like, "Why? We don't need to go through this bureaucratic stuff when we know what's happening. Let's just go get these people." And she's like, "No, we need to have a meeting and strategize first before we do anything." And to me, like that's why this is like the beginning of the end, and other entities down the line find a chink in the armor and able to use that bureaucracy against them and the political stuff against them to bring their downfall, which is what happened.
You're literally on a Zoom call. You can have a meeting anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
we can talk about it right
literally
now.
on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Hey,
we can talk right now while I'm on the way.
Everyone, I see your holograms. You see my hologram. Let's discuss this as I am traveling to the place where I know the person is going.
Yeah.
So I can beat them there to protect the person who is about to be attacked next. Yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. I like the action. I like the look of the show. I don't like the twin trope, mainly because I think it's rarely done. I love Amanda Stenberg. I like the actress, but I think it's very hard for one person to portray believably 2 people not knowing it's them. I've seen it done, but very rarely done well. Because I feel like one side has to kind of overact to make sure you know that this is the evil one. So I'm going to be a more direct or weirder than my normal self to let you know that I'm another person now. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I have some shows I'm going to recommend to you where actors did that amazingly. I will admit, yes, there are some actors that have like completely, we can tell you have no idea what you're doing, but there are some actors who can do the twin thing really well. And I'm offline. I'm going to give you those shows. I only wanted to watch this show because of the people who were in the cast.
Okay.
I saw a behind the scenes like ad about it, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, almost every person, well, not almost every person, but a lot of the people who were stacking the cast are people I actually really respect as actors and actresses. And so I was like, okay, I want to watch this show because I'm intrigued. And then it was coming across as a murder mystery, and I love me a good mystery. So for me, this doesn't really so much feel like a Star Wars show, more feels like a sci-fi Western.
Well, yeah, that's worked in the past. Andor, the first. I know you probably didn't watch Andor, but the first few episodes of Andor, when I watched it, I was like, "This is the most un-Star Wars Star Wars thing ever," because it felt like until you got like the hallmarks of the series, it could have taken place anywhere. It was just a sci-fi setting. Until they started bringing in stormtroopers and the Empire and things of that nature. But the first few episodes, it's like this is just like a spy show. They could have done that with this, but it would have been hard because they're so entrenched in the Jedi and the Sith war. But yeah, I agree with you on that.
And then also to add, I wouldn't have revealed the twin thing so early.
Yeah. I think Abraham didn't Abraham say that. Yeah, he said also very wild to start a murder mystery by showing us who the killer is in the first scene. Yeah,
like if they had showed the actors playing both characters, but we never saw them in the same spot at one time, it would be like, oh, okay, she is either really good at acting or like Jocelyn said, she had a split personality, doesn't know what she's doing. And then like when maybe like in episode 3 or 4, when the Jedi track her down, it's like, oh, the twin's alive. But for it to be revealed in literally like, well, at least to me in episode 1, that it wasn't her, that it was literally her twin doing all of this. I was like, oh, that's a big reveal. So either that must mean they have something much bigger coming down the pipeline.
I really hope so.
Yeah, but that was an interesting twist very early.
I was hoping for us to see the inciting event first, so they could do us that showing, not telling, and I think that would help us care more about May and Oster, because we once we see that inciting event, we know why both of them are tripping. Either way, you know what I mean? Instead of just hearing about it, and we just think automatically, we think, oh, May's the bad person because she set the family on fire and killed everybody. But now we're getting hints that something else happened and may not have been responsible. What are you thinking up over there?
Maybe I'm changing my ideas so many times. Maybe they were trying to kill her because they thought she was going to go dark, and they were trying to get rid of her before. And May reacted in the sense of and reacting and not being able to control the force power, because she can use the force really well. She ended up killing her whole family because she was trying to protect herself. And she thinks she killed her sister. She's blaming them.
It's definitely interesting. I have two thoughts. One is to your point, Andrea, about like maybe there's some, I don't know if y'all seen the movie Wanted or not. Okay, like maybe there's some of that stuff going on. Like maybe May is trying to kill the Jedi, you know, because she's like, you guys are bad, but like all of us were, like, I also am a part of this, so maybe she's gonna kill herself last. Like that could be a thing too. But also, again, in my other point, Rod, to your point, is how you were saying you wish they would have showed the inciting incident first.
Yeah.
Now I kind of feel worried that the inciting incident is not all that interesting because they didn't show it first. Because I don't know if y'all seen Arcane, that show on Netflix, but they showed the inciting incident first. And it fueled kind of what happened the rest of that show.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that's not to say that it won't be interesting. I still am very hopeful, but now I'm concerned now because you said that.
I'm curious to know what happened back on their home planet, and I also want to know when the reveal of this Sith is going to be.
Who is going to be?
Who's pulling the strings here?
Yeah,
because there's lots of questions on who it is and where they could be from. Because as far as I know, The green skinned Master Jedi Vernestra is the only one that's from the books. And I haven't read the books, but she's the only one that's from the books, which is kind of funny because I think she's supposed to be like a pathfinder. She's supposed to just follow the will of the Force, and now this must be after that because now she's on the council and she's all about bureaucracy. And this wouldn't look good if they found out a former Jedi now just killed a Jedi. Oh, now we found out it was an outsider. That won't look good. So she's worried about how everything looks instead of just getting the right thing done.
Sometimes we just gotta show force and not just follow the will. That was me following the will of the Force.
Okay, that was okay. Yeah, but for all the complaints I've been seeing online, I like the show, despite the shortcomings. I like most of the cast. Yord kind of annoys me, but I think he's supposed to be annoying. And if that's the case, then he's doing his job.
They ruined such a fine actor to make him play that role.
I hope. I don't hope, but something that could be interesting with his arc, for the show, is if they push him even further into the goodest boy role, so much so where he's angry at everyone's decision. He gets so angry at everyone's decision making that he starts to like be almost like a really bad cop.
Oh yeah, that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Yord, we do not trust.
Yeah.
Yord don't know what he's doing. Yord's gonna mess something up. Do you guys agree with the visuals and the action being good?
I do. I like the visuals. I like the action. And also, I didn't get to comment on your point about like when you asked us how we felt about their twin acting. I felt it was believable. It didn't take me out. Like it felt a little more than just like May puts on her hood and cloak and you can tell she's the different twin. Like it felt a little more than that. So, I liked it.
I mean, I liked it. I just felt like Osha was more believable of the two characters.
Because May's being lied to. Or May knows the truth and she doesn't know how to act.
Yeah, I also think we don't know enough about May yet. Like, I think we have more information on Osha. Like she's would you say she was like some version of a Star Wars mechanic or something?
She's a mechanic.
Yeah, that's interesting. We see what she's into. We see what she's interested in. We see a little bit more about her morals. With May, we just see that she's upset and she's a murderess. That's all we know,
Yeah.
So I think we just need to know her a little bit more. Yeah.
They name dropped Narshada, which is a Hut moon, where like basically the mobsters and gangsters in the Huts resided at Narshada. I'm hoping we get to see that in live action. I think we may have seen it in like the Clone Wars or one of the animated shows, but never in live action. So it'll be cool if we see that. Yeah, the action's good. I just have some questions about the story, but I'm hoping the questions I have get answered down the road. And I agree with you. I'm hoping, Jocelyn, that the inciting event ends up being a compelling one and not something they reveal. And we're like, oh.
I feel like I'm going to be Team May by the end of the season. Like whatever is because that Jedi Master drank the poison without any provocation.
Yeah.
She
He didn't even fight.
Justified in getting her revenge.
That's why I'm thinking it's on some Wanted stuff. Like y'all don't know if y'all remember the ending of Wanted, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking that's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even fight.
Team
his only other choice, I guess, was to admit what he did to the Jedi Council, and he didn't take that option. He's like, "No, I'm gonna take this to the grave, homie. Sorry, I'm gonna drink the Jim Jones Kool-Aid and be out of here." And
so I'm Team May. Yep, Team May, Team Osha, because they're the only two people. Well, Osha's really the innocent one, but May is justified because that man went down without a fight, didn't alert no one, didn't say nothing, didn't do like a force whisper, anything like that. Oh,
And
no,
also with the Jedi lady who was first killed, who played by Carrie
Andara.
Moss, yeah, Andara, like she fought her, but she also didn't like fuss when she went down, you know.
I
Like
mean, at that point, it's a wrap. She took a dagger to the heart and was like,
I mean,
"Well,
yeah, but also she, it wasn't like how sometimes people like that'll happen, like the killing blow will happen, and then there's all this distress and distraught and regret in the face, and tears and all this stuff because they're not ready to die. She did it without any of that. She just went down. Like, yeah, it was a killing blow, but I also kind of read that, and I could be reading too much into it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I read it a little bit like, okay, I accepted it. Like, that's fine.
I think that's what it was. It's like, I'm guilty. I'm charging it to the game. I
Right.
knew this could be a consequence of what we did. So I guess it just caught up to me. I'll
Right.
accept it." And she just killed us. And I was like, "Damn,
Team May all the way.
Team May." Okay, we'll see.
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'll never
could
admit
be
out
right.
loud if I am.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time out to chop it up with me about these things. The 10 of y'all viewing, 9 of y'all lurking. We appreciate you guys taking the time. Ibrahim Mustafa, appreciate you commenting and joining in the discussion. We will continue to talk about this series as the episodes come out. I think now it's going to be one a week, either Tuesday or Wednesday that comes out. Yeah. So we will chat at y'all next week, same time. And we'll talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.